How you guys doing? So give it up for me. I just had a threesome recently. You know, and like every guy is willing to lower his standards a little bit for a threesome. You know, like I usually try and have sex with girls that are only like 8s and above, but for a threesome I had to lower my standards a little bit. You know, like so instead of having sex with one girl that was an 8, I had sex with 2 guys. Still counts. I hear some shit on the radio sometimes that makes me lose faith in humanity. I was driving down the road a few months back and I heard this on the radio. It said, Paris Hilton's highly anticipated album drops on September 11th. And all I could think was, that's the worst September 11th in the history of our nation. That guy liked it. So I have a terrible memory. I used to work in a restaurant, and this lady came up to me one time and she asked me what the happy hour specials were. And I told her we don't have happy hour specials on Saturdays. And she looked at me all fucking crazy and she says, it's Tuesday. You know, like some people are off by a day, but I was off by as much as you can possibly be off by, you know, like that's why I don't think it's fair that my girlfriend gets mad at me because I can't remember her birthday. Like I try as hard as I can, but it just gets lost in the recesses of my brain. But to be fair, I've been celebrating Memorial Day my whole life. I can't even tell you what month that's in. Like, Veterans Day, no fucking clue. Like, we've only been dating for 7 years. These holidays have been around since I was born. Let me get these holidays down first, and then I'll work on remembering your fucking birthday, you know? Like, it's like I barely know when Christmas is, and that's just because I wouldn't be a very good Christian if I didn't know the day that Santa died on the cross, so. Killed it with that one. So back in the day, they used to think that when you had a headache, the demons were trying to escape from your skull. So they would drill a hole in your head so the demons could escape. And that's just ridiculous to me. But I think it's even more ridiculous that my friends think the cure for alcohol poisoning is to draw a bunch of penises on my face. Like we actually had a friend die of alcohol poisoning one time. I was like, I guess we just didn't draw enough penises on his face. But at least his mom had a good laugh when she went to identify the body, so there's a silver lining to that story. So I'm super poor. Anyone else in here super poor? Yeah, they say like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But I find that having absolutely no health insurance has the exact same effect, so. Obama's gonna fuck that joke up for me. I didn't have a problem with him until he started fucking with my jokes. Shit. I went to Coachella this year. You guys know what Coachella is? Yeah, it was a good time. But, you know, when I got to Coachella, we waited in this huge line until we got in. It took us hours. And by the time we got to the front, it was just a guy standing there. He's like, hey, do you guys got drugs in your car? It's like, fuck, you caught me. Like, how am I supposed to smuggle my drugs in with this high level of security? It makes me think like beforehand they had a little meeting. They're like, hey, how are we going to stop people from bringing drugs in? It's like, we'll just ask them when they get here. It's like, aren't they going to lie to us? No, drug users are trustworthy people. So I've been living in Arizona the last few months. And you know what? Vegas is hot. Don't get me wrong. Vegas is hot. But Arizona is so much fucking hotter. Like, I was staying with my cousin, and I would just go to walk to the corner store, like around the corner. And I'd just walk to the end of the driveway, and I'd just be like, you know what? I made a huge mistake. And I just turn around and walk right back in the fucking house. I'm going to rehydrate, try again later. But when I was staying in Arizona, I saw this newspaper article, and there's 4 people in a car, and they crashed into a tree. None of them were wearing their seatbelts, so all 4 of them died. And, you know, I could see in the picture above the article that on the back of their car, they had a God First sticker. And I was like, oh, well, that's where you guys messed up. It's safety first. That's an applause break. I'll take it. So I try to help out the homeless when I can. Like I was walking into a McDonald's the other day, and this homeless guy's like, hey, can you help me out? I was like, sure, no problem. Let me grab you something inside. I'll be right back. And so when I came back out, I handed him a application. Like, give a guy a quarter pounder with cheese, he eats for a day. Teach a guy to make a quarter pounder with cheese, and he lives for a little while until he shoots himself because he works at McDonald's. I think that's how that goes. You know what? I'm tired of guys like calling girls bitches. You know, like that's extremely offensive to me. You guys think that's offensive? No. Yeah, I think that's super offensive. I don't think my dog should be grouped in with you guys. My dog's super sweet all the time. Always down to lick my balls. All right, well, that's been my time. You guys have been a great audience. Give it up for your host.